Hey everyone, welcome to this today's broadcast. As you can see from the title, it is we'll have a discussion, a short conversation for just a few minutes, how how to use techniques that are proven, where you can learn to calm the deep waters of your mind during times of stress. And I don't have to tell you right now, we live in significant significant um, times where a lot of things are challenging our cultural norms, where there's a lot of things that are very volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And a lot of times people are unable to process information, external stimulus, to make sure that they maintain equilibrium. See, I believe in order for you, for me, for anyone who is human to maintain high level of performance, I feel that we must have a set of equilibrium. And that equilibrium is a balance. There is balance in our spiritual realm, physical, emotional, all of those things. If we are out of equilibrium, out of balance, we create, you know what? We don't just create, we sabotage our success. And let me tell you, I used to be a champion. Now, notice, I used to be a champion saboteur of my own success. There was always doubts. There was always things that I would take one step forward and two or three steps back. And it took an inordinate amount of reflection and also listening to feedback from people around me to make sure that I stop sabotaging myself. Perhaps this is familiar to you. You may be sabotaging yourself because you're afraid. You're afraid of success. You're afraid of added responsibility. And a lot of times, we as humans, I believe, we like to, stay in our comfort zone, right? We don't want to do too much or too little, just right, just here I am. I don't want to muddy the waters or, like make more waves. And I feel that new responsibilities, new levels of success will require more physical, emotional, spiritual output from you. So perhaps I was afraid. Can you relate? Are you right now in your life are afraid of something, maybe a change that is coming into your life? I mean, we don't have to pretend there's a serious global health crisis that is grappling this earth, right? We are all alone on this earth, this blue planet, and we have this serious threat, which is upending life as we know it. And then there's a lot of economical headwinds, political headwinds. I mean, there's so much going on. And, maybe you like me and you turn on the news. You turn on the news and then you see things that you haven't seen in decades. You see things of maybe unrest, political instability. Perhaps there's news of big changes that is affecting you right now. And I feel that I got sucked into this, right? Because it's novel, it's unusual, it's unprecedented. So I started watching TV. And now let me share a revelation. I normally do not watch TV because I don't want to get sucked into somebody else's agenda or into somebody else's story. But I had to find out what's going on in the world. And the more TV I watched, the more news coverage I watched, the more addicted I became on the news. It's like those serotonin, like, oh, I need to know what's going on. You become just so in tuned and you want to consume more information. What I did not realize is that by watching these disturbing images on TV and times of great uncertainty and big stir up of change, is that it does something to your mental equilibrium. It certainly affected me. It threw me off balance. And I am a big proponent of self-awareness. There's a few times throughout the day that I just take a pause, right? Between meetings, between Zoom calls, between client conversations. Maybe it's in my home. Maybe it's at the office. Maybe it's on the way to the appointment. I find a quiet place and I just sit. in silence. I turn off the radio, turn off the TV, turn off my phone, and I just focus on this moment right here, right now. Perhaps you have a question. Mark, I don't have time to slow down, sit in silence for a minute even, or 5 minutes. What are you really asking me? What I am asking, it is not essentially an ask, it's rather is a challenge. It is my invitation. When you carve out, dedicate, or block, commit 5 minutes, 10 minutes of your time, and find a space that you can control. There's a lot of things happening outside of your brain, your mind, your life that you have no control over and probably never will. However, you can control what environments you place yourself into. You can control on what you can focus on. You can control on type of people that you work with, type of people that you have contact with. See, it's very important for you to focus on things you can control and then own that space. Perhaps for you, you go and you watch funny videos on your phone. Or maybe you watch Mark Guide, this broadcast, which I love. Or maybe perhaps you shut off your phone and you pray. Or maybe it's a moment of reflection and gratitude that you are made it here right now. And yes, your life may not be perfect. And there's people who may be looking up to you, maybe depending on you, and there's some people you depend on. But this moment right here, right now, you own it. It could be a moment of silence. You see, I love moments of silence because when you quiet the mind, you can really see the truth of your environment. And I didn't arrive at this, of course, many years ago, maybe decades, at least 2 decades ago. I used to fill my space, my environment, and my relationships with distractions. I used to be a cigarette smoker, and every, not 5 minutes, but seemed like 20 minutes, every 40 minutes or every hour, I took a break, right? Go outside, just have the cigarette in my hand, and just focus on puffing in and out smoke. Now, I know how destructive that habit is or was. And it took me many failed attempts to quit smoking. What I realize now is that you can still find time for yourself throughout the day without resorting to bad habits, whether it's smoking or something else. You can find times. And perhaps when you first start, it may feel uncomfortable or a little bit out of ordinary. Like you are a busy person. You have stuff to do. You have people to see. You have deals to make. Yes, you do. But I also ask you just to invest time in yourself. So when you do show up, when you do finish with your moments of Zen, solace, and solitude and gratitude, you show up at an order of magnitude with a higher effectiveness. That is what I'm really asking. I am asking you to protect your own time so you can serve and lead others at a higher level. So whether you are my client or would like to contact with me, please reach out. Make sure you write where you're from, what did you learn, what kind of challenges you are experiencing in your life right now. I love to hear from my audience. I love to hear from everyone who invests time to be a better human being. You see, you have this one lifetime, right? There's no more unless we know something else. Is that this lifetime is yours. Things may not be perfect for you right now. Things may be challenging. And sometimes if we lose hope in where we're going, things may be very, very dark. My hope for you is that you find the time and you find the way. You don't have to accept your current circumstances as your entire life. Have vision for the future that you'd like to live in. That will require your total commitment, your total dedication. When you commit to a better vision in your life, I believe resources, people, and situations and opportunities will come into your life consciousness, and it's up to you to work with them. But it starts with you and your vision and the times that you dedicate to yourself and to your success. So tell me what you're working on. See what kind of challenges you have. I'd love to hear from you. And make sure you like this video, share with everyone in your tribe. Remember, there's people right now who have half the qualifications that you have, a quarter of experience than you have, but they live in the life of your dreams. The only difference between you and them is decision to take action, not perfect action, but action that results in progress. That is the difference. So my hope for you that you find this video helpful, uplifting, encouraging, and share it with the world. I like to share as many people as possible that there's hope, that there's strategy, and they can achieve it by making the right sequence of steps. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you soon.